Coincidence.
Marysville, Ohio Police Chief Tony Brooks talking about carbon monoxide poisoning at a Hampton Inn that left more than a dozen people in critical condition. All of the victims were in the pool area, the entire hotel evacuated. North Korea has launched another ballistic missile. Reporter Alex Jensen has more from Seoul.
2017 was the last time the North test-fired a projectile capable of striking as far as an intermediate-range ballistic missile, which is what it appears to have launched, based on the data confirmed by officials here and in Japan. Suspected to be a Hwasong-12 missile or similar, it would comfortably be able to reach the U.S. territory of Guam.
This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is.
It really is. Picking up the bill. I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I can get upset.
The free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app? Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas. Does that actually add up to anything? Some months I make $200 to $300. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code SIMPLE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code SIMPLE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SIMPLE. WWL First News. I'm Tom Perkins.
WWL AM/FM.com.
Another frosty start to our morning across southeast Louisiana. Lots of sunshine in the forecast, an easygoing day, and daytime highs are expected to climb into the middle 60s. If you do have any plans tonight, your Skype will be with us, and our overnight temperatures are expected to fall into the middle 40s.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. New Orleans police investigating a shooting in the Marigny. Initial reports show a male victim with a gunshot wound to the leg was transported to a local hospital. This incident was reported around 8:50 p.m. last night, and no other information has been released by NOPD. With the latest on other shootings from Saturday, we go to WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta.
The most recent happened just before 1 this afternoon near the intersection of Park Brittany and South Coronet Court. That's in the Westlake Forest area of New Orleans East. Police tell us that 2 men were shot but have not released any more information. Meantime, the NOPD is also investigating a shooting in the 4400 block of South Claiborne Avenue. Officers say that's where 2 women were shot last night around 9 p.m. Both victims were transported to a local hospital. We've not gotten an update on their conditions.
A man is under arrest following a sex sting operation. WWL TV's Paul Dudley has the story.
A New Orleans man was arrested after driving to Baton Rouge to allegedly meet up with a 14-year-old girl who turned out to be an undercover officer. Police say this man, Trenton Thomas, responded to a picture on a fake account that was being operated by the undercover cop. About an hour after telling the undercover agent he was making the drive to Baton Rouge, Thomas was pulled over and arrested. He had 4 condoms with him. Thomas was booked on 1 count of computer-aided solicitation of a minor and 1 count of indecent behavior with a juvenile. He has since been released.
President Biden has an opportunity to reset climate policy after a federal judge rejected an administration plan to lease millions of acres in the Gulf of Mexico for offshore oil drilling. A judge tossed the drilling plan late Thursday, saying the Interior Department did not adequately take into account the proposed drilling's effect on planet-warming greenhouse gas emissions. Environmentalists say the lease sale should not have been conducted in the first place and goes against President Biden's campaign promise to stop new oil and gas leasing on federal land and water. Here's Christian Garrick with WWL Sports.
NFL legend Tom Brady reportedly calling it a career. He's retiring from the NFL. Brady played 22 seasons in the league and won a staggering 7 Super Bowls. He finishes as the all-time passing leader in NFL history. The Minnesota Vikings have reached out to Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh about their head coaching vacancy. A formal interview has not happened, though. Christian Garrick, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Well, happy Sunday. It's another cold start to our morning, but today featuring plenty of sunshine, and that sunshine will warm us up nicely as we head into the afternoon hours, with our highs getting up into the middle 60s. As we begin the week, we are looking at another mild day. We'll see a mix of sunshine and clouds Monday afternoon, once again with highs climbing into the middle to upper 60s. As we head into our Tuesday, starting off with plenty of clouds, all thanks to a weather system moving in from the west. This weather system is expected to stay.
Okay, here we go, gentlemen.
It's going to bump up our rain chances, so you'll need that umbrella. We're looking at scattered showers with isolated downpours Tuesday afternoon. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakwinard Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We're on till 10 o'clock. Give us a call with your legal question or even your sports question, and we'll answer that one. Good morning, Albert.
Hey, Doug, what's up?
Oh, nothing much. I remember sitting here last week speculating about Coach Payton, saying that he would maybe go to TV, retire, walk away, and it happened. So,
yes.
But he, so we're on a coaching search, and I think there's 3 reasons he retired. This is my theory. Number one is
West Virginia.
Is West Virginia? Is that, you think that's one?
Miss West Virginia.
Miss West Virginia. Yes. Yes, that's one. Well, I have 4 then. I have 4. Well, his football godfather. His football godfather is Bill Parcells. And he had a philosophy of never rebuilding with the team you've been with. So in other words, he took the Giants from, 2-14, 1-15 to the Super Bowl. And then the Super Bowl, he peaked and he would have to go into a rebuild, and he left. Then he went to the Patriots, took over a 1-15 team. He built that and then went to a Super Bowl and left. Then he went to the Jets, who were 1-15, did a rebuild and took them to the championship game and left. And then he went to the Cowboys and took them to the playoffs and left. So he doesn't have a philosophy in rebuilding in the same team, within the same team. I think the second issue would have been is...
Well, hold on a minute, because if that's the case, that kind of presumes that he might follow that path and go to another team. I don't think that's going to happen ever.
I bet he goes. I bet he does. I think he'll be itching within a year. He's just got ants in his pants. He's precocious. I don't know that he would. I think he would get the itch after at least 2 years. And then
I disagree.
To be seen. And then the second thing is, I don't think he thought he had a quarterback worth. I'm not saying worth sticking around with, but who would take him where he wanted to go in the short term.
I agree.
And that Saints did not have the assets, or they had the liabilities as far as the being in cap hell, that they could get an Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo, a Russell Wilson. I mean, it's a pipe dream, but you'd have to give up a lot of assets, and you need a lot of available cap room. which they don't have.
Why would Garoppolo ever come here? I mean, I get maybe, somebody with a year or two left in the tank, Aaron Rodgers or even a Tom Brady before he cut loose. But why would I don't think Garoppolo's kind of at his prime. He's in a great city, a big market. I don't see him ever coming here.
Well, but if he gets to the Super Bowl, I would be very surprised to see San Francisco offload him in the next 2 years, just from any perspective. It just wouldn't make sense. They'll just let Trey Lance just continue to develop, much like Aaron Rodgers had 4 years behind Brett Favre, and just let him develop. But that's to be seen. And the third part, I think he's just burnt out, and obviously, which you talked about last week, and you brought up the fourth factor, Miss West Virginia. Sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, I'm sure she's in his ear saying, we've got all these millions, and 10 months out of the year, you're laser focused, and this way, go sit in a booth, 4 days a week, 17 games, and then move on, and we can go travel, we can spend time with your family, my family, all that sort of thing. And look, I was concerned about him when he came back after the Bounty Gate suspension, because the biggest obstacle to your next success is your last success. Mm-hmm. And so when you've got a guy who's coming off of a Super Bowl, he's now all of a sudden taken a year off and gotten a taste of, spending that money, going to the island, not having that responsibility for a year. It's like retiring from any job and then coming back and trying to, I doubt that anybody would work as hard as they worked right before they retired. But that was one of the reasons why they were retiring, because they were just burnt out and working too hard. Yeah. So I can't imagine somebody jumping back in the game and working as hard or harder than they did right before they were.
Yeah.
Just a human nature thing, right?
Right. Well, I think he's gone, and here's my prediction on new coach Dennis Allen, and this is because knowing the Mr. Benson, he's not afraid to blow things up when things aren't going well. But if he thinks an organization or one of his banks or dealerships or whatever organization he owned is going in the right direction, and there's a change for whatever reason, he likes to promote from within. That's his comfort level. Now, I'm sure some of that's with Miss Benson, but my prediction is they have to go through a protocol as far as the NFL for coaching hires, the Rooney Rule. But I think
it's clear that when he canceled his interview with the Bears, I felt pretty comfortable that he was going to be the new.
Yeah, I think the only possible candidate that I think is, if not more qualified or as qualified as Flores from Miami. I mean, I think he's the most marketable coach at this point. I mean, he took a bad Miami team. I mean, they were bad in many respects, and he made them, and he had a winning season last year, which they were just bad. It wasn't so much his fault. They just didn't have personnel.
I can't believe they got rid of him.
That was unwise, totally unwise.
I mean, what were they thinking? They won 7 out of his last 8 games. I mean, this is what we needed to do. The first half of the season was a problem, and now the second half we've turned it around. What the heck, and it makes no sense to me.
But then I think when Mickey Loomis was interviewed later last week, he had said it's not the Saints' intention to blow things up, that they feel like they're going in the right direction. Now they're going to have to deal with the cap hell, the $80 million in cap space. And they do it every year, but they put it on the following year. So it's just much like a
the federal government.
Well, except the Saints are a lot more efficient and they're a lot more productive. But it's like, if you refinance debt, you can get through the year, but you're going to have to deal with it in the future. So I think
they're a quarterback. Yeah, they're a quarterback and a wide receiver away from the playoffs. I mean, they're they were a bad player or two away from the playoffs this year. So I don't think anything can be much different. But if you have, your defense is pretty much in place, if you can keep everybody, and then your offense, if you keep your offensive line healthy and maybe get a solid backup or two, pretty cheap. I don't know what quarterback. I can't think of any. You might have to get it through the draft. I guess they've seen what they can see out of Ian Book at practice, and because you didn't see it in the game because he was playing with third string offensive linemen and had about a second to make decisions. And look, you can't evaluate someone at practice. I mean, if they're missing a lot of passes and they're missing reads, yes. But if they're doing all those things right, you're not at game speed. At no time do they practice at game speed, and so you're not getting the feel of the pressure and the rush and the pass and how you lead a guy, all that stuff. So until you can evaluate some games where they're out there,
meaningful games.
Didn't get that.
Right.
Yeah, but meaningful games, even preseason games, he didn't even get that because they were working Jameson, last year. So, I mean, the guy that was efficient at Notre Dame, the winningest quarterback ever at Notre Dame, 50 TDs and 3 interceptions, I think, in his last year. It was just crazy. But so he's got skills.
Well, it's interesting. One of the things, and that's why general managers get hired and fired or kept, is how a quarterback translates from college to NFL. Because you had Josh Allen, whose future, he's a superstar, and it's going to be Josh Allen and Mahomes, and probably several conference finals for the next decade. It'll be a Manning and Brady type thing. But he had a few quarterbacks picked before him. He had Sam Darnold. He had Rosen. He had who were bust. Now, they were picked before him. Now, how do you determine how you translate from college to NFL as far as quarterbacks? And it's just hard. Now, I do think if I would have to say two factors, it's mental toughness and accuracy are probably the two different things. And I think Darnell and Rosen don't display that. They don't display that, but sometimes you don't know that. And then you had Haskins that same year too, who went to the Redskins, or maybe the year after. But it's you just don't know, and that's what I'm saying about Ian Book. You really don't know. I mean, to me, I think he would probably be a prohibitive backup who could come in and but you look at Simeon. He got in that game with the game they had to win, and threw 3 of the most beautiful passes. It was like he had a little time. He had some protection, and I don't care how good you are. If you don't have protection, then it's going to be you're going to struggle. Right.
So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, but we are a legal show. We'll talk law at some point in this show. But let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
NFL playoff excitement continues today. The NFL.
Okay, we have 2 callers on. We have Donald from Slidell with a succession question. Dan from Metairie, who's got another real estate question. So that's Donald from Slidell with succession. Dan from Metairie with real estate.
The other 2, just go home. Get all the NFL action the way you like it on your home for the NFL in the Gulf South. WWL.
Hey, Louisiana, sports betting is officially here, and there's no better place to get in the action than on FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Treasure Chest Casino. Right now, new customers can place their first bet risk-free, and if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back in site credit when you use the promo code HEBERT, H-E-B-E-R-T. That's why now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot. The app is simple and easy to use with generous promotions every day. It's safe and secure with best-in-class customer service. And when you win, FanDuel will pay your winnings in as little as 2 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook with promo code ABEAR to get started with a risk-free first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code ABEAR. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
So here we go again. Since Hurricane Katrina, the insurance companies have been raising our premiums and raising our deductibles. But now when we need our insurance payments to rebuild our homes and rebuild our lives, they're denying our claims and lowballing our estimates. This is Albert Nicaud, the Nicaud and Sunseri law firm in Metairie. Let us put our team of licensed contractors, roofers, and public adjusters to work for you so you can get your home and life back in order. Call me, Albert Nicaud, at 504-837-1304, and I'll make your insurance company accountable.
This Valentine's Day, give her your heart. A diamond heart pendant, exclusively from Oakwyn Heart for just $235. Come see this lovely piece with sparkling Oakwyn Heart diamonds, set in sterling silver. And while you're here, shop a vast selection of 14-karat gold diamond necklaces, diamond stud earrings, personalized diamond initial pendants, stackable rings you can mix and match, and more. In every price range. Come see what's new this Valentine's Day at Oakwyn Heart on Metairie Road.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Rory Richard from right here in Louisiana, and I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time Magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans...
Okay, we'll come live after the next spot, which is a tax spot.
Over 39%, I said enough. I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Platinum Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-259-3131 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-259-3131. That's 1-800-259-3131.
I have one more caller to add it to the list. It's Donald from Slidell, Dan from Metairie, and we have Diane from Metairie with a flood question.
IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need.
Okay, here we go.
Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
All things legal on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakwyn Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Albert, I think they were tired of us talking sports. So let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Donald. Slidell's got a question regarding succession. Hey, Donald, you know all things legal. How can we help you, brother?
Thank you. I was calling because my parents passed in 2016, 2017, respectively. And in October of 2017, I was named independent executor in succession, and I sold their house in October of 2017 and used the proceeds from that to pay off the mortgage they had. 3 years later, in 2020, I received a check in their names for $100 and something. I guess it was when they did all the math or something. That was what was overpaid. I went to the bank and they pretty much refused to cash the check and told me I had to get it into my name somehow and this, that, and the other. I tried calling back the mortgage company and doing that, but I guess, I didn't follow up like I maybe should have with it. Just recently, they sent me an email that the check hadn't been cashed. I called the mortgage company to, question that or talk to them about it. And they told me that they will not this time put it into my name, or, they're going to send me another check, but it'll be in my parents' name. And what I'm trying to understand is, how do I cash a check like that? It's not that much money, but obviously it's money that's owed.
You've got two options. One is to spend a bunch of money to reopen the succession. The other is to contact the mortgage company, since now you have a contact number with this most recent letter, and say, listen, here is a certified copy of my judgment of possession, placing the heirs in possession. So you and let's say your two siblings were named as the residual legatees under the judgment of possession, and say, could you please issue 3 separate checks, divided up and split 3 separate checks. See if they'll do that. That is your best, most efficient way to do it. Otherwise, you're looking at, having to go reopen the succession and add that as an asset, et cetera, and it'll cost you way more than $100.
Right, and that's what I was trying to avoid, because it wouldn't be worth, obviously.
Correct. See if they'll split it up. If they don't, you lost $100.
Okay. All right. So the only way to do it, you're saying, is to call the mortgage company again and ask them if I can just send the succession, because I'm the only heir. My
that's
brother,
easy.
passed. So also.
Well, if you're the heir, then you should have a judgment of possession naming you as that heir, as the heir to everything. And if you do, then just send a certified copy of the judgment of possession to the mortgage company and say, look, I'm the heir under this account. Then they have some paperwork to establish who the proper party for the check is.
Right, because I actually did or helped them to do this, like refinance mortgage, with POA and all of that, because they were, I needed money for their care and they were incapacitated, blah, blah, blah. So I'm actually was on the mortgage, everything, it's
correct. But the mortgage was in their name. It's a refund. You have to go get it reissued in your name. The way to do that is to send them a certified copy of the judgment of possession. But thank you for the call.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. So, yeah, probably if you send the judgment of possession, they should reissue it in the name of the legatee or only heir. So, hopefully they'll do that. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Dan from Metairie. He's got a real estate question. Hey, Dan, you on All Things Legal. How you doing, brother?
Good, Ben. I tried to call you the other day, but I had the wrong number. So give out your number for the store.
It's 504-837-1304. Yeah, Google's messing us over. We gotta get that straight.
Yeah. Okay, Bill. Anyway, you gave the number out so damn fast I didn't get it, but you'll give it out again.
Okay.
About 4 or 5 years ago, I had a piece of property that the tenant didn't pay the rent, so I had to evict him. And on evicting him, he got revenge on me by smashing in the sheetrock and pulling doors off in the house and so forth. Well, his parents are pretty well off, so I went after him, and I got a judgment of $10,000 for damages and non-payment of rent. Well, it's been about 4 or 5 years now, and I haven't been able to find him. So I'm getting old, and I'm going to give up on trying to find him, and I was wondering if you guys do that kind of work.
Well,
yeah, we have a program that we use, and there's also investigators that we can hire that can actually find the person, probably find where they're working. They're usually pretty good at that. So yeah, call Doug 837-1304.
And
he'll get.
And Dan, I wanted to tell you, you were talking about real estate, and you said that you made your 88th birthday, right?
That's correct.
Congratulations. Now, did you know this? That when you were born, the cost of gas was 10 cents a gallon. As a landlord, the average monthly rent was $20 per month. The average wages per year was $1,600, and the average cost of a house was $6,000.
Well, I grew up in a little one-bedroom home. They had 3 kids, and we were paying $15 a month.
There you go. There you go. So
I can remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
We had one little bathroom, no hot water.
Take a break after this.
And it was tough back then.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, y'all didn't go around protesting, wanting the government to pay off your student loans, man. Y'all had real problems, right?
Well, I remember also going in line and getting food. And I also remember going in line that give free bedding.
Now,
clothes and mattress, stuff like that.
Now, you do you remember Pearl Harbor? You must have been 7, 8 years old.
She was built like a brick. Oh, that Pearl.
No, the other Pearl, the war. Yeah, I know. The other Pearl we'll talk about off air.
I had my cousin went into World War II. He lived just across the street from me. He had no father. And he was 15 years old. And he lied about his age. He went into World War II, Korean War, of which I was in the Korean War, and the Vietnamese War, all those wars. And he died in bed about up in his 80s.
Oh, wow.
That's
it. Well, that's what I was saying. It's a little different than your biggest problem is your iPhone doesn't download in 3 seconds. So, you know.
My biggest problem right now is is it too late to go after that guy $1,000?
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he's still around, and we'll see if he's got a job. And
people have money, and guess what kind of business they're in? A rental business. That should have been a clue, huh?
That's right.
Let me give you the number back to make sure I got it right. 837-1304.
That's it, Dan.
That's it.
All right. Well, Dan, you know, also.
One more.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the best time to get you all? I don't want to interrupt you.
Just call it during 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Yeah. So right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And as usual, it's always a pleasure to talk.
All right. And Dan, I didn't know you were a Korean veteran, but thank you for your service, because people like you were able to be free. And we're able to pursue our passions, and we're able to live in the greatest country in the history of mankind. So thank you very much. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer retiring.
Of course, to nominate an African-American woman to the Supreme Court? Yes, absolutely. Daily deaths are about 2,200 per day.
Okay, I have Diane hanging on, and she has a question about flood insurance.
Ukraine. The invasion of Ukraine is, for news that happens next, extremely serious. Before
Speaker Pelosi,
it's heard anywhere else,
I am running for re-election
will happen
to Congress
on WWL. The News Talk Sports Leader.
DraftKings Sportsbook is officially live in Louisiana with mobile sports betting. To add to the excitement, DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer.
Last spot in the set is Duck, Go.
Win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. The wait is finally over. Head to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now to check out all of DraftKings' great promotions and features, including same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. out. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code BIG870. Get 56 to 1 odds on any team. Bet just $5 or more to win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's code BIG870. This week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and over. Physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 7867.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Rory Richard from right here in Louisiana, and I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth. Because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said enough. I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Platinum Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-259-3131 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney use to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-259-3131. That's 1-800-259-3131. Again, 1-800-259-3131.
To make extra money, you usually have to do something. And you might not have time to do something extra to make extra money, but there's a cool new way to earn money that you can transfer into your bank account. Hi, this is Scoot. All right, so you drive and you get gas. What if you could earn money every time you pumped gas? Get the new free app, Get Upside. And you can find it in the App Store or Google Play. Every time you fill up, you earn money that goes into your Get Upside account. And that can be transferred into your bank account, PayPal, Amazon account, any of your accounts. It's your money, and you get it every time you fill up. You can receive up to 50 cents per gallon cash back when you fill up for the first time using the special promo code NOLA, N-O-L-A. And, people with SUVs filling up with diesel because premium and diesel, get more money for you. They're earning up to $10 extra just for pumping gas. That adds up, and all this money transfers into your bank account or some other account. So get the free app, Get Upside, and start earning money every time you pump gas. And remember, the promo code is NOLA. N-O-L-A. The app is Get Upside.
Hey, it's Christian here. Are you having problems with your Hurricane Ida-related insurance claim? Are you uncertain whether your insurance company is treating you fairly? Need home repairs? You need C.J. Hewitt Construction, a local and licensed full-service general contractor. Unlike ordinary roofers, C.J. Hewitt can handle the entire claims process and make sure you get what you deserve from your insurance carrier. Visit helpmecj.com. That's helpmecj.com or call 504-272-2323. That's 504-272-2323.
For Mardi Gras supplies, head to Jefferson Variety Stores, specializing in specialty beads, throw beads, trinkets, boas, masks, hats, and plenty more. At Jefferson Variety Stores, open 7 days a week. Visit them at 239 Iris Avenue in Old Jefferson or online at jeffersonvariety.com.
This tax filing season could be one for the record books. There are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits on the table, and Jackson Hewitt will help make sure you get every one you deserve. Tax credits for being a parent, taking care of a parent, taking classes, and so much more. Don't leave thousands on the table. Jackson Hewitt will make sure you get credit for all you do and get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more and find your nearest location at jacksonhewitt.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Now that we have started a new year, think about some ways you can save water when you start your day. First, install a low-flow shower head. Also, when brushing your teeth or shaving, turn the water off and only use it to rinse when necessary. And if you are thinking about remodeling, install a low-flow or dual-flush toilet. Then, you can help conserve water all year long. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
I feel like I'm being haunted by a pair of headphones. Everywhere I go is a creepy ad for headphones I looked at one time. I hate feeling like I'm being watched. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy with DuckDuckGo.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Diane's got a Hurricane Ida flood question. Hey, Diane, how can we help you?
Hey, good morning, guys. I didn't get tired of listening to y'all sports. I love to hear y'all talk about it, but I wanted to try to get some guidance on, something with my insurance company. In fact, Doug, you actually got a payment for us on our new roof, which they didn't want to pay for. But UPC is the insurance company that I had for flood insurance, and they're the ones that were, we had to go to get the roof, but they didn't want to pay us. But I'm very confused about all of this now. They sent me a bill for $3,115 for my flood insurance. Is that normal?
Okay, that's your flood premium?
I guess that's what they're saying. That's who we, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else it would be because I have Geico on my cars, and my homeowners. I'm not sure I have. I'm so confused.
I haven't seen UPC writing flood insurance. Not to say they don't, but I just hadn't seen it yet.
I think it goes through Liberty Mutual.
Liberty Mutual does write flood insurance. So you think you got a premium for this upcoming premium period for $3,100? Is that correct?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
But you collected for us on our claim with the roof, and we got that money from them. Now, is that the reason why they'd go up on my policy?
No, that has nothing to do with flood. It has zero to do. Your flood premium's determined by the flood maps and the ratings. And what part of town are you in?
In Metairie.
That seems very, very high for Metairie. Are you in an area that has repetitive flooding?
No. In fact, my house is never flooded.
Okay, well then I think that's a mistake because I would have to see if you want to send us the bill, we'll take a look at it and try to make heads or tails of it. But I don't think that's your flood premium because that's way, way too high for that, especially in a place where you didn't repetitively flood. And I don't know if that's UPC's. I don't know that they write flood. I haven't come across that. But now Liberty Mutual definitely does. So I would,
Liberty Mutual writes flood insurance.
Well, FEMA is FEMA underwrites the flood policies. There's servicers like such as Liberty Mutual, Allstate, USAA. They are the servicer for the federal government for these policies. In other words, if you can buy the this flood policy underwritten by FEMA from these insurance companies, but they're not the underwriter. They just service the policies. So it's ultimately with FEMA. Now, a lot of flood policies in repetitive flooding areas have gone way, way up, unless you have raised your house, and they give you a fund for that, but not in Metairie. So I don't know where that bill came from. I'm not, unless that's for your homeowners. What were you paying for homeowners before?
I'm not certain, but I don't think it was that amount of money, and it wasn't from UPC. I don't think.
Yeah, well, you would if you can send us a copy, email us a copy of the bill. Just call our law firm, get an email, or fax it, and we could take a look at it. And if I look at it, I could probably make sense. We look at it, we could probably make sense of it. But I'm certain it's not from flood. It could be your premium for next year.
For what? My home insurance?
Homeowners, yeah. But
do you have a mortgage on your property?
Oh no, it's been paid for. I've been living here for over 50 years.
Okay, so then you receive every year your premium for your homeowners for you to pay. Now, it sounds more like a homeowner's premium than a flood premium. But just, like I said, send it to Doug. He'll take a look at it and let you know what to do.
Okay, because
so
each one of these insurances is under a different, like I have my cars with Geico.
Right.
My homeowners would be with Liberty Mutual. And then it used to be, but I never get to talk to Liberty Mutual. And then the flood would be under a policy from Liberty Mutual, right?
Right. Well, they would be the servicing agent for FEMA.
Okay. You see, it's so much insurance. I mean, I get so confused. I mean, I
hear
just
you.
had a big upset in my life, and I don't know.
Sure.
And that's,
Well, why don't you just send it to us, and we could probably give clarification as soon as we put our eyes on it.
okay, I'll do that. Thank you. I didn't
All
know
right.
which way to go.
We have
I
Miss
just felt
D
like,
from
oh,
Mandeville Succession.
every time you turn around, you're getting a bill from somebody for something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The insurance companies are eager to issue bills, but not so eager to pay claims. All right,
Yeah,
all right. Thanks so much for the call, and just send that over to us, and we're glad to look at it. Let's go to D in Metairie. Hey, D, you on All Things Legal?
Mandeville.
Mandeville in God's country. D in Mandeville from God's country, where the trains run on time, you have city services, you don't have crime, and your traffic lights work. Unlike about 40 miles away.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My husband passed away a year ago, and my home is paid for, and it's under both of our names. And what I wanted to know, do I need to change that to my name only? And also our car that's under his name. And do I need to have this changed? And is it expensive? Because I'm just living on Social Security. If I do need to have it changed, where can I go?
Well, I think, okay, let's deal with, you really do not have to file succession if you have access to all the financial accounts and until you really sell the house. At that point, you'd have to retitle the house in order to sell it in a succession. Now, as far as the car is concerned, did your husband have a will?
No.
Okay, well,
No.
you have any children?
I have one son.
Okay, if you go to DMV or a title place, you could, if you and your son go, I think y'all could sign an affidavit of death and heirship and sell it without opening succession. So if you want to sell your husband's car, I think if you and your son could basically sign off on the sale of the car at there's all kinds of title companies all up and down Highway 190. And they could give you yes, ma'am.
It is the only car that I have. I mean, I use it. Actually, he bought it for me. It's just a little car. And so I have no intentions of selling it. But would that, or should I?
Well, you could even retitle it in your name, and I don't think they would charge taxes, Albert, since it's to a spouse.
No, they don't.
So
they
you
won't between spouses.
Yeah. So what you could do is have you can do an affidavit of death and heirship and possibly have it donated. So I'd go to a title company and tell them your situation, and they would probably have some paperwork to allow you to put the car in your name without opening succession. And
right. Your son would like with
yeah.
you. He, technically under intestate laws, he would be a half owner of that vehicle through naked ownership. So if y'all both go there together, sign it, and they'll charge you whatever fees, $100 or so, and then you can just get it titled in your name, and then that's all taken care of.
Okay.
Now, and you would have to probably file succession if you wanted to sell your house or refinance your house.
Okay.
But you paid off, so you don't have to worry. If you ever had to want to sell it, that would be the time to file succession. I mean, you can file it now, but it's not necessary. It'll have to be done at some point, whether you want to do it sooner or later. But if you can wait until prior to selling your house.
Okay, and I do have a will that the house and everything goes to my son.
Sure.
I mean, so.
Yeah.
Would that cause a problem for him if I drop dead tomorrow? I mean,
No. I think you're covered with your only son. You got a will. You'll be okay. You're gonna be around a long time. So.
Okay.
All right, and Dean, I'm sorry about the passing of your husband. I know it's tough. So I'm very, very sorry.
That.
All right.
Thank you both so much for your help.
All right.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Lawyers, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Find podcasts for your passions on Odyssey.
Like the award-winning Fresh Air with NPR's Terry Gross.
Kieran Culkin, welcome. I love the show. I'm engaged and I care about these characters.
Okay, no more calls. The board is clear.
Bringing you true, unexpected stories.
And experience the new podcast.
Last spot on the set is Babel, and that will give you in the neighborhood of about 4 minutes. So top of the hour news.
Find all the podcasts that matter to you in a universe of audio.
Odyssey.
WWL is proudly sponsored by Anajar and Levine Hurricane Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. Attorney Bruce Betzer, Office Mentory, LA 2212-762.
Hey, Louisiana, sports betting is officially here, and there's no better place to get in on the action than on FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Treasure Chest Casino. Right now, new customers can place their first bet risk-free. If you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back in site credit when you use promo code Garrick. That's why now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot. I can't wait to put in some action on the AFC and NFC title games this weekend. The app is simple and easy to use with generous promotions every day. It's safe and secure with best-in-class customer service. And when you win, FanDuel will pay your winnings in as little as 2 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook with promo code Garrick to get started with a risk-free first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code Garrick. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
Hi, folks. Joel Myers from my friends at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. If you're in the market for a great pre-owned luxury vehicle, look no further than Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, where you can shop from a large selection of top luxury brands, including BMW, Lexus, Range Rover, Cadillac, Infiniti, and many others. Of course, we have a large selection of top quality certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles as well. Because at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans, we get the nicest pre-owned vehicles from the nicest people. Our customers. Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. Veterans Boulevard in Metairie.
Hey, y'all, the New Year's here and you're ready to celebrate. Here's what's happening around the state. February 2nd through 4th, Tet Fest, Vietnamese New Year in New Orleans. February 5th, Minden Fashing Carnival and Parade. Battle for the Paddle Cook-Off in Farmerville. And Wild Game Cookout in Port Allen. So make your plans to laissez les bon temps relais.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaIsATrip.com.
Where do you go when you want to sell your gold or silver coins? CausewayCoinCo.com.
Brandon Hawley here. Premium Windows. Professionally measured, professionally installed. ReliefWindows.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern, conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Albert, I think a lot of people, we got a couple of minutes, you give an explanation. I've heard people say, gee, I don't want to file a supplement on my claim, or I'm scared if I file a claim over my deductible, my insurance is going to go up next year. Can you explain how that really works?
Yeah, when there's a catastrophic loss, like a hurricane, and there are claims all over the place, those claims are not counted against you individually. They're counted globally. And so when the insurance company wants a rate increase, they go to the commissioner of insurance and say, hey, look, this is how much we paid out last year. You know, the year before we had 8 storms, you know, this, and this, we need a rate increase. And so the rate increase is across the board. I had a guy asked me the other night, I don't want him to drop me. Asked last night, saw him in a restaurant. Yeah, I'm a little reluctant to do that. I don't want him to drop me. And the question is, if you have been with your insurance company for 3 years, they cannot drop you for making a claim related to a storm. They can only drop coverage across the board. So if they decide to stop writing, property coverage, or if they decide to just pull out of the state of Louisiana, then you're in the same boat with everyone. But if you've been with your company 3 years, they have to keep you. And they won't raise your rates because they won't raise your rates personally because of the claim, but they may raise them across the board. So it can't hurt. Go get it looked at and evaluated, right? And, I've heard so many people, I've got a $6,000 deductible. They paid me $500 over it, but I need a new roof. And, we send an adjuster there and it's a $40,000 claim.
Right.
So it just can't hurt. You have nothing to lose. Doug, we charge our fees based on new money only. So, if you've received a check, if you've received a certain amount, that's yours to keep. And whatever we can get beyond that, we charge fees based on that. So
right. And if nothing's collected, there's no charge.
There's no fee, there's no cost or anything. Right.
So, so it's nothing, basically nothing to lose. But I remember after Katrina, I had a, elderly couple say, and they just came from a different generation, and they had water up 6 or 7 feet, and they, basically total. And they sat in the office and they said, gee, I'd hate to make a claim because my insurance rates are going to go up next year. And, I said, well, that's what it's for, and it was just a sort of a generational thing. And they also were very surprised that they should have gotten flood insurance. And
but worse than that is, I hate to file a claim. That State Farm, just a good company. I've been with them so long.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is what you're doing. You're betting your insurance company that there's going to be a loss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you $3,000 a year, and I'm going to bet you that something happens. And if I win my bet, you're going to pay off State Farm.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's what insurance is. It's you're booking a bet.
That's right. And we'll talk about that on the other side about booking bets and Caesars. But it's funny. I had a couple to tell us they lived in Lakeview. And they said, I didn't think we needed flood insurance. I say, where do you live? Lakeview.
Yeah.
Look at the name of where you live. Just based on that, make a decision on whether you should get flood insurance. So There you go. All right. Well, that's hour number 1 is in the can. We'll be on till 10 o'clock. You can give us a call at a law firm if you have any questions at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304. Stay tuned for national news, local news. We'll be back in 10 minutes and all things legal. We'll see you in 10.
The News Talk Sports Leader, WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Linda Kenyon in Washington. Quite a storm.
This is one of the top snowfalls in a 24-hour period in the history of the state of Rhode Island at this point in time.
Rhode Island Governor Daniel McKee commenting on yesterday's storm that brought blizzard conditions to several states along the East Coast. CBS meteorologist David Parkinson says next, the after effects.
The snow is done, the storm is pulling away, and all that is left is the bitterly cold air and a whole lot of snow to clean up. How much snow? Well, we cracked the 30-inch mark in Stoughton, which is just south of Boston. In the city of Boston itself, just about 2 feet. We had 2 feet out on Long Island as well, approaching 2 feet, but not quite on the Jersey Shore.
Now comes those punishing temperatures, and New York Governor Kathy Hochul is worried about extended power outages.
You cannot have people in their homes without heat for any length of time.
Temperatures are in the teens, even lower in many parts of the state. January has been a deadly month for the Omicron variant. Reporter Michael Raimondi has more from Phoenix.
It's been challenging psychologically, emotionally for healthcare workers.
Dr. Shad Marvasti says hospitals are overwhelmed right now.
Although fewer people are dying from COVID, people are still getting sick, which is preventing other procedures from happening.
Someone who needs a surgery like a knee replaced, you're not getting that done. Just the worst that it has ever been since this pandemic started.
The National Transportation Safety Board is looking into that bridge collapse last week in Pittsburgh. Jennifer Homendi heads the NTSB.
Injuries are very serious. But when I look at the bus and the position of the bus and the position of the vehicles, I'm really thankful that no one lost their life in this collapse.
5 vehicles in that bus were on the bridge in the early hours of Friday morning when the bridge gave way. More than a dozen people were hurt. Senseless and tragic.
When senseless acts like this occur, it affects us all.
That's North Las Vegas Councilwoman Pamela Goins-Brown commenting on a 6-vehicle crash that killed 9 people yesterday. Police say a maroon-colored Dodge Challenger ran a red light at an intersection and then hit multiple vehicles. North Korea has launched a ballistic missile.
North Korea's latest test firing involved its longest-range missile since 2017.
This is the first test of a missile that breaks the moratorium on intermediate and intercontinental range ballistic missiles that Kim Jong-un offered Donald Trump.
Jeffrey Lewis of Middlebury Institute of International Studies. The U.S. military does not consider the test an immediate threat to U.S. territory, personnel, or allies, but does call on North Korea to refrain from what it calls further destabilizing acts.
This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code SIMPLE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code SIMPLE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SIMPLE.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL AM, FM, and .com.
A good Sunday morning. It is another cold start to our morning, but today featuring plenty of sunshine, and that's going to help warm us up nicely into the mid-60s later on today. If you do have any evening plans, it will be quite chilly with overnight temperatures falling into the mid-40s.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist, Michelle Morgan. With a reminder about getting your child vaccinated before returning to New Orleans schools, here's WWL TV's Paul Dudley.
Students ages 5 and up in NOLA Public Schools as of February 1st, that's this Tuesday, you must be fully vaccinated to attend classes. The mandate was announced back in mid-December. There are exemptions for religious or philosophical reasons.
A New Orleans man is under arrest after getting caught up in an underage sex sting. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta has the details.
A New Orleans man was arrested after driving to Baton Rouge to meet up with a 14-year-old girl that turned out to be an undercover officer. Police say Trenton Thomas responded to a picture on a fake account that was being operated by the undercover cop. About an hour after telling the undercover agent he was making the drive to Baton Rouge, Thomas was pulled over and arrested. Thomas was booked on 1 count of computer-aided solicitation of a minor and 1 count of indecent behavior with a juvenile, and he has since been released.
The crew of Nefertiti will roll this afternoon in New Orleans East. All of the crew's 19 floats will feature this year's theme, Too Legit to Quit, and celebrate the music of the 1990s. The roll kicks off at noon at Bullard and Lake Forest Boulevard. Online gaming is underway in Louisiana just in time for today's conference championships and the upcoming Super Bowl. WWL TV's Paul Murphy gives us this look.
With cell phones and computers at the ready, gamblers were excited to log on to their sportsbook apps to put some money down on this first day of online betting in Louisiana. According to Caesars Sportsbook, more than half of the customers who placed wagers on the site in Louisiana bet on the Bengals. More than $67 million in wagers were made at Louisiana on-site sportsbooks during November and December. Shamir Mawad at Caesars Harrah's New Orleans says online betting should increase those numbers exponentially.
Now here's Tim Zimmer with WWL Sports.
The NFL playoffs are down to its final 3 games, and with 2 NFL conference championships being decided on Sunday, the AFC will feature one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL when the Cincinnati Bengals, they go into Arrowhead Stadium and try and knock off the defending AFC champions. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow says being efficient on offense will be key.
I think crowd noise will always be a factor. It's just whether you're efficient in your nonverbal communication and how well you handle it. We've been really good at handling it throughout the entire year, and we're going to look to continue that this week.
Our NFL coverage on Sunday starts at 1 p.m. with Westwood One's NFL Conference Championship doubleheader. Kickoff in Kansas City, that's set for 2 p.m. Tim Zimmer, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
A cold start to our morning across southeast Louisiana, but today it looks like temperatures will warm nicely into the middle 60s under clear skies. So we'll have that sunshine around to help warm us up. And if you do have any plans tonight, clear skies and not as cold with our overnight lows falling into the middle 40s. So it will be a chilly start to our Monday morning, but it looks like once again, highs will climb into the mid-60s Monday afternoon with a mix of sunshine and clouds. A weak weather system will approach the area as we begin our Tuesday, bumping up our rain chances, so you'll need that umbrella. Quick heavy downpours are possible through the afternoon hours. Again, this is on our Tuesday, and then Tuesday night, a few isolated storms are possible as well. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm
Here we go.
meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news talk sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud. Underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakwinard Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, Doug Sunseri. Albert Nicaud, we're back for hour number 2 in All Things Legal. We're on till 10 o'clock. You can call us at our talk or text line, 260-1870, 504-260-1870, or you can call us at a law firm at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304. On North Shore, 985-624-9697. Just want to give a quick shout out. I was invited to be the MC for the crew of Nick's ball at the Hilton on Friday night. And so it was a great invite, had a wonderful time. And they are riding on February 23rd, which is Wednesday. And their special guest, it's all female crew, but their special guest is the first football family of the West Bank, John Forcade and Keith Forcade. So, and there you go. Yeah, and they got Chase, who quarterbacked at Nickel State, and they have, and then they got their son, who coaches over at Rummel, Keith's other son. So, I can't say they're the first quarterback family in New Orleans because the Mannings, but the West Bank's pretty good, That's good area over there. So, and John's always been very comfortable around 300 women. It's just he's at a high degree of comfort in those situations. So I'm sure he'll do very fine, and Keith will have a good time too. Also, it's interesting. Today's the first day of mobile betting in Louisiana, sports betting online. Yep. And they've been betting.
Actually, I think Friday
was.
Friday.
Yes.
Today is the game that most people are betting.
Yes, I mean, there's been betting in Louisiana since Bienville came here in 1731 or 17. Whenever he came, 17. What was it? 1731, 17. No, 18 maybe. But he there's always been betting. It's usually been maybe with your neighbor across the street and the one next to him, or
hey, Sneaky, this is 325. I need -6, $200.
Right.
Yeah.
And offshore. But it's very interesting as far as the NFL is concerned. I know 32 years ago, when I was at NFLPA meetings, they were like, stay away from gamblers. We prefer you not to go to gambling casinos. To have a team sponsored by a gambling company was unthinkable at the time.
Right.
And, Paul Hornung and Alex Karras, which I think were suspended in 1964, maybe, were still fresh on everybody's brain 25, it was only 25 years later. And it was a very taboo to even.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you were hanging.
Pete Rose.
Right. Well, if you were hanging out with suspected gamblers, NFL security would be all over you.
Right.
And, now 30 years later, it just changed. It's just an interesting evolution. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out.
Most things in our lives these days, Doug, and I tell this to my children all the time: follow the money. Follow the money. It's simple as that. I mean, if there's money in it, that's where you look first. And you hate to do that. And you hate to be so pessimistic about it, but it just unfortunately seems to be the case. And so there was plenty of money in a Vegas franchise. There's plenty of money in sports betting. If you notice, ESPN, and for about a year or two, has been placing the line, on ESPN ticker down at the bottom. Before you'd have to go to the newspaper or sports betting site or something to get the line, or Vegas line. But ESPN tells you what it is, right? Right on the sports ticker.
Well, when the Times-Picayune started putting the betting line, that was controversial at the time. In their little section where they had the standings and box scores and that sort of thing, that was highly controversial. And so it's just an interesting evolution. I'm wondering if they're going to have Dottie's Daycare sponsored by Caesars, because that's what they I think a portion of the revenue is supposed to go to early childhood education from Louisiana.
Right.
Which is very interesting how every time they've had a lottery passed or gambling.
Of course.
It's just interesting politics.
Yeah. Our kids are stupid as ever.
Yeah. Well, if you measure the measurables in government schools, yes, it continues to get worse. That's a whole week of talk shows there. But so just sort of interesting that they have evolved, because initially fantasy football was what kept interest when you had a Monday night game involving the Jets and the Chargers that nobody cared about.
Whoever invented fantasy football needs to be in the Football Hall of Fame, because it has kept the sport popular, where, even for people who don't have a team in their city, or their state, they will now, like you said, go look at the Cincinnati-Cleveland game on a Monday night because they got two players playing.
Right.
And so it has kept people involved in the sport, even when, times were bad and the sport didn't seem like it was, doing very much. And, we as Saints fans didn't see that because we had a good run with Drew, and, we were always into it, always paying attention. But fantasy football has definitely kept things exciting in a much larger capacity.
Yeah, I'm not making an opinion on it because I really don't have an opinion. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. So I'm not making an opinion. But to come from maybe 30 years ago, 35 years ago, when Tulane's basketball program had the death penalty due to gambling, to being able to today bet on the next Tulane game this week is interesting on mobile sports betting. It's just a very interesting.
Look at Pete Rose.
Yes.
It's another guy, who was one of the greatest baseball players of all time, should be in the Hall of Fame, and it was a gambling issue. So
yeah, so it's just an interesting evolution, and it's probably going to change. To a certain extent, it's going to get people who would not normally get involved in betting, and I'm sure on my wife's and my daughter, Katie's end, when they have a divorce, they'll say, community property, where'd the money go? Well, the Bengals lost, and we really thought they were going to win, and so you got those ancillary issues that they think are going to be outweighed by the revenue to early childhood education. So there you go. Also I guess we'll get back to. Well, let's talk before we do that. Did you watch Pelicans last night? You keep up with them last night?
I watched like the fourth quarter. They were already kind of.
We got two holding. We can do it after the break.
3 segments of games are back to back, so they played 2. They played 2 Monday and Tuesday, I think, and then they played Friday, Saturday back to back, and then they're going to play again, I think, Monday and Tuesday back to back. So, and unfortunately for them, they just with VI Zion, who knows, just they're not deep enough, to be able to handle a back to back. Game 2 is usually a real struggle.
Plus
Monday they can.
I think under the tutelage of its present general manager, he has had a dysphoria in his roster management of this team. It's probably
perfect job. I love watching him. I love watching him now more than I ever have. There's no star on the team right now. I guess Valentino's be him right now because Brandon Ingram's out, Zion's out. We don't have all that, issue. And these guys they like each other.
They play hard. They do play hard together. It is. They do play hard.
That's right. They want to crack that lineup, and so they're all trying to shoot for those spots when players come back to be the guy that is going to get the minutes. And so it's just fun to watch. It really is.
And lastly, before we go to break, the second signing day is Wednesday. So LSU went from a disastrous recruiting with a coaching change to probably ending up in a top 10 with the transfer. So Kelly's a lot better recruiter than he is dancer. I don't know if you've seen the.
Seen a couple of the videos,
Yeah. So, in fact, I think I could probably teach him a thing or two, which is like having the best ice hockey player in Mississippi teach someone else, something. So anyway, but keep up the good work, Coach Kelly. All right, we're gonna got a couple holding. We're going to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
When you listen to Scoot, you're listening to rock and roll history.
Today in 1970 was on this day in 1998. I'll never forget.
Okay, we got two holding. First of all, it's Gary from Slidell. It's another succession question. We have Sam from Gretna, who has a roofing problem with his insurer. So that is Gary Slidell, Succession, Sam Gretna, and roofing.
Honestly, I'm lucky to be alive.
Scoot on the air, weekdays 1 to 4 on WWL.
If you have an unpaid tax debt to the IRS that you can't pay, please hear this special notice. Specially approved IRS relief programs designed to aid delinquent taxpayers are now in effect that can significantly improve your financial situation. Depending on your circumstances, you may qualify to have your tax problem resolved in your favor and may even have your back taxes reduced by thousands or eliminated entirely. A relief hotline has been established by Community Tax for you to call and see if you qualify at 800-256-4180. If you owe the IRS back taxes that you can't afford to pay, don't let the IRS trick you into thinking you have no way out. Our highly accredited tax professionals will let you know what you qualify for and how much you can save. We may be able to stop all liens, garnishments, levies, and save you thousands. Call and see if you qualify for this taxpayer relief at 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. 800-256-4180. Community Tax. Who's your tax guy?
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 475-2323.
LA 121 12674. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Call 475-2323.
I didn't feel so well, so I searched my symptoms on Google, and now I'm being followed by uncomfortable ads. I hate feeling like my personal data is being bought and sold. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy with DuckDuckGo.
Hey, Louisiana, sports betting is officially here, and there's no better place to get in the action than on FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay, we have a financial spot at the end, which is 1 minute, and then we'll go live.
It's free, and if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back in site credit when you use the promo code ABERT, H-E-B-E-R-T. That's why.
So that's Gary from Slidell Succession, and we'll probably have time to get to Sam from Gretna with a roofing problem.
Safe and secure with best in-class customer service. And when you win, FanDuel will pay your winnings in as little as 2 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook with promo code ABEAR to get started with a risk-free first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code ABEAR. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't take the weekends off, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck over the weekend, don't wait until Monday to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait until Monday to call an attorney. Call me, Mike Brander. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
Mike Brander's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond. ECLA number 2319.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Rory Richard from right here in Louisiana, and I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth. Because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said enough. I've discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Platinum Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-259-3131 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy.
Okay, here we go.
Shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-259-3131. That's 1-800-259-3131. Again, 1-800-259-3131.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nicaud and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line. 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Gary. He's got a question regarding successions in Slidell. Hey, Gary, what you have for us?
Hey, good morning. I guess it may be a succession question, but it may be a kind of co-ownership of property question. So my mother and her brother had their parents' home put into their names about 4 years ago, and no mortgage, just property transfer. And the parents continue to live in it. And the last parent, my grandfather, passed away in March of 21, and the plan was to sell the property once they passed, but the brother wants to hold on to it. So disagreement on ownership or what to do with the property. So, he has not. He offered verbally to make like payments until he can sell some assets and officially buy her out, or fully buy her out, I should say. But that hasn't happened yet. So it doesn't appear that it's going to happen anytime soon. So here we are 9 months later, and no payments have been made, and there's no real plan in place. So just wanted to understand if there's legal options, what options there are to kind of force a sale on a property that's co-owned.
Well, there's something called a partition, right? So if you've been placed in possession of co-owners, you can give the brother that's living there a time frame and say, look, we've been patient. We want to work with you. You've got, 60 days to try to close. And if you can't, we're going to go ahead and put it up for sale. And if he refuses to do that or sign a listing agreement or anything like that, you can seek help through the courts through a partition proceedings, whereby the court will appoint a realtor and get it appraised, set a price for it, and a limit, within a range that if you get an offer for X amount, we're going to sell it, and then everybody gets their percentage share of the net, minus, of course, the court costs and the realtor fees and things like that. So, that's the process. And, it's a relatively smooth process. It just, if you can't come to agreement, it just takes a little longer.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first steps would be to reach out to folks like you guys, try to, I guess, show some kind of legal action.
Make the offer and, just kind of put it into a writing. Say, look, we're going to give you 60 days to close, and whatever you think is fair. If you want to get an appraisal, get it appraised. They can probably get it appraised for $300-400, and say, look, this is what it's going to be. We'll knock 10% off because of the realtor fees, et cetera, and pay up your portion, buy us out. And if you can't get to the bank and buy us out, and you can't get the financing, whatever the case may be, then go ahead and, we're going to have to put it up through a partition, or, we're going to agree to put it up for sale together and sign listing agreements. And if they refuse to do that too, then at that point you do have recourse.
Right. Okay.
All right.
That's very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and a lot of times on these partitions, the parties, at some point, it's going to happen. You're going to have to sell it, especially if it's a residential house. It's just whether I do it now and not have the process eat into your recovery, or your percentages, or later, where you have court costs and you have real estate costs and you have attorney's fees. So it's often wiser to do it early in the process than later, because you're going to have the same results. You're just going to have less in the end. All right, let's go to, let's see, is that Sam and Gretna? Got a roofing question. Hey, Sam, you're on All Things Legal.
If you think about every caller with different legal issues, the common thread is you deal with someone that has something laying on their mind. So the minister puts it all in there. It's very helpful to everybody. I think y'all had one complaint a couple years ago.
Oh, I just got a complaint on my text on our talking text. Oh yeah, they said all sports nothing. Yeah, we get back. But you know what? I tell them if they don't like it, listen to something else on Sunday morning.
Yeah, look, I can sit and read them the civil code if they want, but that might put them to sleep.
Yeah,
so.
We can see. Yeah, okay.
Well, you know what I suggest to that caller? Don't bet on football games, and he'll be in a better mood.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
I never have. But, anyway, getting to my question though, I'm still playing the merry-go-round with the boys in the fancy truck that can't find their phone. And I thought I had a roofing company I was happy with the work but like the lack of follow-up, texting, emails, leaving messages on his phone, the phone call. I know they're busy. It takes like 20 seconds to say, look, I'm really, really busy. I'm going to get back to you in a couple of weeks. And I will say thank you like 3 times. So I'm satisfied with the roofing company, I'm concerned about the time frame. In fact, one of the major advertisers on WWL, established company, I'm concerned about the time frame. Once I write up a contract with them, all right, if they give me an approximate time to get started, and it way overshoots that, and I have to default to choice number 2, if I have a signed contract with the primary company, all right, if they miss the approximate date, and I don't mean like, you told me you were starting Monday and you're starting Friday. That's and not like that. No, it's like a month after their approximate starting date. If I don't get any feedback or phone calls or anything, and I default to my second choice, is there any legal trouble I'm in or obligation with the first company if they overshoot their approximate date by a month?
Well, of course, everything depends on what your contract says, right? In Louisiana and even in other states, the contract is considered the law between the parties. So even though, you may not have negotiated for a good deal or someone else may not have negotiated for a good deal, the courts are not there to make sure one party or another gets a good or fair deal. They're there to interpret the contract as it's written. And so you have to look at the contract and see what the consequences are. But if they have a particular start date, it would seem that if they don't make it to that start date, you would be free to go hire someone else to go get the roof on. And I would have somebody lined up.
A couple of weeks, that's not a big deal. What I'm concerned with is I'll have a signed agreement.
They take a break after this, and then
I'll run across not be able to get in touch with them, or not getting any kind of return, phone call, email, or anything like that back.
Well, and how would what's your warranty going to be like, right? You got a leak in your roof, and you're not getting the calls back when they hadn't even put the roof on yet. You hadn't even paid them yet, and you're not getting called back. So that's a problem.
Your most diligent people, whatever your business is going to be on the trying to lock up the customer end.
Exactly. I would be concerned by that.
I'm totally on their schedule, and that's what my concern is. I don't want to be.
Again, I would look at your contract.
In the meantime, materials go up, and they can only guarantee your price 30 days out because of the materials constantly going up. Well, what if I don't see them until May, and by then, and I'm in agreement with that because everything's going up. My materials have gone up in May.
Look at what your contract says in the event that they don't start at a particular time. And if there's no repercussion for that, then you can hire someone else to come in and do the work. And there are a lot of good companies out there. And again, like we do every week, make sure they're licensed, make sure they're local. Because if they're not licensed, make sure they're licensed, make sure they're local. I'm talking about the new company, because it sounds like, you're kind of getting the runaround. And again, they're busy, I get it. But listen, let me tell you the other thing that's going on. I represent a window.
Just call me and say, hey, look, we're 6 weeks out.
You're a lot more patient than most.
Yeah.
Right. But I'll tell you another little thing that's happening right now. I represent a window company, right? And the window company, he tells me, look, we're 8 weeks out, 10 weeks out for windows. He says, what we have is these salesmen running around from other companies lying to people, saying, I can get your stuff in 4 weeks. It comes in. We got, they prioritize our stuff. They do this, they do that. He says, look, I've been working with these same companies for 40 years. He said, we're as prioritized as anyone. But he said, people are out there lying to customers saying, I can get it in a month. They've already signed a contract. They've already put down a deposit. And that salesman knows good and well that those windows aren't coming in for 10 weeks. And so they just keep pushing them back. And my guy's like, what do I do? I said, what you do is you go explain that to your customer. And you go explain that to them and say, listen, here's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. And if you go with someone else, they're going to lie to you and tell you something different. And then you're going to be stuck in that contract. So,
listen, I'm very confident in the company. It's a good company. They advertise with you all. Local company and everything. I think the main office is Baton Rouge, I think, but it's a local company.
Yeah.
But just call me to say, hey, look, we're 6-8 weeks out, and whatever satisfactory, we'll get together and have a conversation.
I would be very concerned that they're not calling you back.
All right. Well, thanks for the call. Let's go to break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your Weekend Warriors. We'll be right back.
After a weekend of football, it's time to second guess. And nobody does it better than the Cajun Cannon, because he's been there.
Okay, we have Tina from Biloxi, and she's considering buying a house. Only it's got mold, so what recourse does she have? I don't know, she'll tell you.
Analyze things at NFL games like a pro. Second guess with the two Cajuns, Bobby and Mike. Mondays from 4 p.m. till they get tired of talking on WWL. DraftKings Sportsbook is officially live in Louisiana with mobile sports betting. To add to the excitement, DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer. Bet just $5 or more on any playoff game and win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. The wait is finally over. Head to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now to check out all of DraftKings' great promotions and features, including same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code BIG870. Get 56-1 odds on any team. Bet just $5 or more to win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's code BIG870. This week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and over. Physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 786.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. If you're a small business owner, listen up. High Insurance wants to give you one of those aha moments. The kind that could save you money. Workers' comp is probably one of the biggest costs you face. But did you know that insurance providers have flexibility in setting their prices? That's right. But many don't bother giving small businesses the savings you deserve. Instead, you can get lumped in with other businesses and overcharged. Pi Insurance was created to change that. With Pi, you get a quote tailored specifically to your business, and you could save up to 30% with no hassle and no hidden fees. And with helpful representatives just a call away, it's easy to understand why Pi is rated excellent by customers on Trustpilot. Take 3 minutes to see how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or go to trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
A new year comes with new excitement, new ambitions, new milestones. Is this the year you pop the question, have a child? Celebrate a major anniversary. At Diamonds Direct, we're here for you, now more than ever. With our vast selection of exquisite hand-picked diamonds, our world-renowned designer jewelry collections, our industry-leading warranties and guarantees, and our people. People with a passion for helping you mark any occasion with something that's both meaningful and timeless. And our commitment to providing exceptional value is stronger than ever in the new year. Whether you're just starting out on a tight budget or whether you're splurging on that 30th anniversary gift, Diamonds Direct will make sure you get the price that you expect from America's premier direct diamond importer. Welcome to a new year and welcome to Diamonds Direct, where extreme value combines with the ultimate luxury shopping experience to create that truly magical moment for the milestones in your life. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. On Severn Avenue, across from Lakeside Mall.
Hey, it's Christian here. Are you having problems with your Hurricane Ida-related insurance claim? Are you uncertain whether your insurance company is treating you fairly? Need home repairs? You need CJ Hewitt Construction, a local and licensed full-service general contractor. Unlike ordinary roofers, CJ Hewitt can handle the entire claims process and make sure you get what you deserve from your insurance carrier. Visit helpmecj.com. That's helpmecj.com or call 504-272-2323. That's 504-272-2323.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks.
weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.
One more and we go live.
That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, it's David Spade and Dana Carvey here. Join us for our new podcast, Fly on the Wall. Every week, we're going to catch up with an alum from the world of SNL.
Our old buddies like Chris Rock, Tina Fey, Tom Hanks, Martin Short, Kevin Neal, and many more. They'll join and talk SNL from the days on the show and days how they got on the show.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall, a presentation of Cadence 13. Available now for free on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcast. And I'm getting good.
Not available on any countries.
No joke, folks. That was pretty good.
All things legal on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nicaud on the Oakland Art Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. That's Terry Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Tina in Biloxi, the home of Apollo 13 astronaut Fred House. You know, Fred was a man. That's when men were men. Fred, man. If you ever listen to him and his story, and he, you know, courage wasn't defined by sending out a mean tweet or a Facebook post. Man, he faced it, boy. Anyway, I digress. Tina, what can we do for you?
Hi, good morning. I have a simple question for you.
Yes.
I recently purchased a home, and within a few weeks, I discovered that I had mold in my home. Had it treated. My question is this: from a legal standpoint, who is responsible? I did have a home inspection done. It was, of course, not detected. The previous owners will not respond back to my request. Am I totally responsible, or is the owners or the inspectors, anybody responsible?
Now the property's
in Mississippi?
Correct.
Okay. I'm not totally familiar with what Louisiana calls retribution law. My guess is that Mississippi has a whole different word for it. But basically, it's their sales law and their ability to get redress in the event of some sort of misrepresentation in a sale. I can tell you from Louise. Do you know where the moisture is coming from? Like where the mold originated, or what the problem is?
In the attic, in the air conditioning. We had been treating the air conditioning.
Okay. Go look in the air conditioner and see if there's some sort of sticker or something that, you know, whoever serviced it, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put a little sticker with a phone number on it to see who might have serviced that air conditioner over the years, and maybe call them up and say, hey, look, I bought this house. You guys have serviced it. Can you tell me if there have been any issues, any problems with mold, any problems with whatever? And if they might be able to tell you, hey, oh yeah, absolutely, that was the Smiths that owned that house, and they had all kind of problems with mold, and we were trying to get it resolved. And now all of a sudden you've got the. Go ahead.
That's how we found the problem. Was that the air conditioning people came out to service it. They had come out in September. They told them that they needed to do some work, and then they didn't do it. Of course, at that point, they sold the home, and that was they refused to do the service because at this time and age, there was people wanting to buy homes more than they were wanting to sell them.
Yeah.
It was definitely a buyer's market, so they did need repayment.
Right.
Nothing that was on the list. So immediately after moving in, you have the air conditioning service, and you find out that, oh yeah, we have some problems. Oh, and by the way, you have mold. So it leaves the question whether the mold was found back then, and they just decided to sell the house.
So they were the AC people had recommended that they do certain things before the house was for sale, right? This wasn't in conjunction with an inspection and a disclosure statement, right? This was strictly.
Inspection said they didn't check for mold. That was never offered to me. Do you want to check for mold? So that's found, supposedly.
Okay. Oh, so the home inspection did not check for mold because they offered to do that, but then you declined?
No, sir. They never offered to do it. They said their inspection did not include a mold inspection.
Correct.
They never offered the mold inspection.
Right.
Or never said,
I know from a Louisiana standpoint.
Mold,
From a Louisiana, from a Louisiana standpoint, they are not required by law to search for mold and look for mold. Now, if they see something that looks like it could be, then they're going to put you on notice of that. But mold is typically excluded from a home inspection. They've got specific mold inspectors that go out that are certified and trained to do that and detect it and diagnose it. The fact is they were told to do X, Y, Z. The question is going to be, from a legal standpoint, were they told that if you don't do X, Y, Z, you're going to have mold in your attic? And if they knew that and still didn't do it, then there may be some liability. But in this case, that's going to be what you're going to have to prove. So, you're going to have to find a lawyer in Mississippi that knows the ins and outs of their retribution laws, and that's who you need to speak to. But that's going to be the issue: is what was the result of that? Like if they just said, hey, you need to clean your air conditioning, you need to clean this, you need to do that, update this, and they didn't do it. Did they know the consequences? Did they have mold before? No, they had mold before, and were trying to prevent further mold, or was it strictly, hey, you're supposed to do this, I didn't do it. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was going to lead to mold. I didn't know you had mold in the house when I sold it. Mm-hmm. So that's what you're gonna have to prove.
You're gonna need a break after this.
Would the previous owners be obligated in any way, unless you can prove that they knew that?
Well, in Louisiana, you have to prove that they knew of a defect in the premises and failed to disclose it. And so I'm not sure what the standard of proof is in Mississippi. You need to contact a Mississippi attorney. But that's going to be one of the issues, I think, as to what their knowledge was, the extent of their failure to do what the AC folks asked them to do. All right?
And what is the name of the law in Louisiana?
It's redhibition, Redhibition, redhibition. It's in the civil code. It's basically a reduction in the purchase price or return of the purchase price for selling a thing, but it's a warranty issues. It's all about, warranting that the thing you sold is fit for its intended purpose. Okay?
All right.
All right. All right.
All right. Thanks for the call. Albert, man, Paul LaGrange could probably take a Saturday off and have you run it for about 2 hours.
I've done a lot of this stuff.
Erin must be like thrilled with you when something breaks down. And she's like, she knows it's going to happen.
A lot of my weekends doing honeydews, but it's okay. I enjoy it.
Well, Michelle, when that happens, Michelle says, we got to call Mr. William. So when I was a kid, see, I had a strategy. When I was a kid, my parents wanted me to cut the grass. I'd cut it bad so they wouldn't ask me to do it again.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It would be missed sections, etc.
All right.
Anyway.
Let's go to our final break.
I hear the music.
Yes. Let's go to final break. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, you weekend lawyers. All things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
WWL is proudly sponsored by Anajar and Levine Hurricane Attorneys. Is your claim taking too long?
We may be able to help.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. Attorney Bruce Spencer, Office Mentoring, LA 2212-715.
Hey, Louisiana, nobody online. That's clear to the end of the show, looks like.
On FanDuel Sportsbook in partnership with Treasure Chest Casino. Right now, new customers can place their first bet.
And you'll have 5 minutes on top of the hour end of the show.
$5 back in site credit when you use promo code Garrick. That's why now is the perfect time to give FanDuel a shot. I can't wait to put in some action on the AFC and NFC title games this weekend. The app is simple and easy to use with generous promotions every day. It's safe and secure with best-in-class customer service. And when you win, FanDuel will pay your winnings in as little as 2 hours. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just sign up for FanDuel Sportsbook with promo code Garrick to get started with a risk-free first bet up to $1,000. That's promo code Garrick. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of WWL Radio.
21 plus and present in Louisiana. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP. If you have Medicare, you deserve the best care and coverage available. But how do you know if your Medicare plan offers the quality you need? Check their Medicare star rating. The higher the stars, the better the quality. And People's Health has earned Medicare's highest rating, 5 out of 5 stars for 2022. Don't take my word for it. Take Medicare's. To learn more about People's Health Medicare plans, call 1-855-821-2666 or visit peopleshealth.com. Still searching for a meaningful career with a company you can grow with? Great news! Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant is hiring. Positions include cooks, servers, and bartenders, with starting pay up to $13 an hour. Benefits include student loan reimbursement, child care reimbursement, 401k, and health insurance. If you truly stand out among your peers, then Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant wants to talk to you. Apply online at BobbyHebers.com or stop by the restaurant on Veterans and Veterans.
It's time for you to profit from the postseason with BetQL's Giving Props Contest. We post some props, you make some picks, and there's 2,000.
The last commercial is Duck, Duck, Go, and then we will.
Receiving yards, you get it. BetQL's Giving Props Contest. And everyone who registers has a shot at the $10,000 grand prize. Props, pick, profit from BetQL. It's totally free to enter, so get started now by texting props to 20357. That's props to 20357. Message and data rates may apply. Full rules at BetQL.com/props.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-256-4180. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-256-4180 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-256-4180 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-256-4180.
I feel like I'm being haunted by a pair of headphones. Everywhere I go is a creepy ad for headphones I looked at one time. I hate feeling being watched. I downloaded DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. Take back your privacy with DuckDuckGo.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nicaud and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinions shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nicaud and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Albert Nicaud, your weekend lawyers, all things legal. Let's go to. I'll tell you what. Let's go to a text. We've got a couple of minutes left, so we'll just go with time. We always have the dilemma because this is a legal show, but we always get text one way or the other when we talk sports. But we are on WWL, and so it says we got a text that said, "Here's boring all legal nothing shows on again. Every Sunday I have to change my favorite radio station when the so-called all thing legal tries to be a sports show instead of preparing an interesting legal show. Feel sorry for the poor clients you can't focus on." Now, Albert, what we could do is let's, like you say, we could open up the civil code and say Article 1. This is what it says. But, but on the other hand, it says, it's Sunday and people love to talk sports. Thank you. And then another text says, and you guys have good insight because y'all are normal and smart. So I don't know, it's we're all overboard. Now,
Right.
we are normal. I mean, when you grow up adjacent to the West Esplanade Canal, you tend to be normal, you don't have a lot of airs about yourself. And so, but anyway, so that's, we're I guess they could just turn off a sports segment.
Well, so the easy answer to that is for the person sending that text, it is a call-in show. It's not a show where we sit. It's not. You're not. No, it's not a show where we're going to sit here and just teach you the law. That's not what this is about. This is a call-in show where we discuss people's legal problems and we try to give them a solution. And so, if more people would call in earlier during the show, then we would have that opportunity to talk more law. But in the instances where they don't, or they're sleeping in a little bit, we fill the time with things we like to talk about.
There you go. Very, very, very simple. I guess in a couple of minutes too, a lot of probably the biggest predominant legal issues are hurricane claims, and I think people are probably dealing with, and we got a couple of minutes, the ability of trying to re-engage their adjuster. And a lot of people are making the mistake, and we just got a couple minutes to say, don't spend a lot of time asking your adjuster to come back and look at damage that you haven't quantified yet. You have to get it done yourself and then submit it to the adjuster. In other words, come look at my roof again. It's damaged, and you hadn't given me credit for it being damaged. I think it's at this point that's probably an exercise in futility. And at this point, you got to get your damages quantified. Throw those quantified damages in their lap, and then get that clock ticking, and and then have that 30 and 60-day period start running and let them respond.
Exactly right.
So
yeah, and it just look, if you haven't gotten back with your adjuster, you've had 5 or 6 adjusters, it's probably time to take the next step, hire an attorney, get somebody over there that can quantify those damages properly. At this point, again, like we talked about early in the show, you really don't have a whole lot to lose. It's any fees that, for instance, we collect would be on new money only. So, it's only going to help you at this point to get somebody that knows what they're doing, knows how to put together a contents list, knows how to work the system, for lack of a better word. And it's been 5 months.
Yeah. Also, too, it's when they do the inspections, there's a lot of damage that is not readily visible. That's able to be identified. Which often increases the value of your estimate too. I mean, there's a lot of hidden damage is probably the best way, or damage is not obvious. It's not often accounted for that needs to be accounted for.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, these guys will walk around and they'll look at the fence, they'll look at downspouts from gutters, they'll look at things that, people just don't see. Cracked bricks. The wind was so hard it cracked the brick veneer on the exterior. Not everybody's going to see that, but when they see it, when people do see it, and they call it to their attention, take photographs of it, the insurance company's now got to deal with it. And so that's those are the things that you don't necessarily see right away because you have a big stain on your ceiling.
All right. Well, thanks so much. We'll see you next week on All Things Legal. You can give us a call at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304. We'll see you next week on All Things Legal. See you then.